The St. Louis Blues made one of the worst decisions, and this is something that I seriously cannot comprehend they didn't try to fix.
Hey, this is Brayden Chen. Subscribe to Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to Locked On Blues. I have missed you all. I have been away due to some unexpected plane cancellations, but I am back and I miss talking to you all so much. However, there is something that we need to talk about, something that I thought maybe was going to have a solution. But unfortunately, there is no solution when it comes to the devastating firing of John Kelly. I mean, we're going to talk all about JK and his family, the great Dan Kelly, and what he's meant to the Blues organization. But why I am frustrated about the path that the Blues are going on in terms of this decision to not bring back JK. It's inevitable that there's certain things about the Blues that you're always going to think of. For me, when I think about the voice of the Blues, I always picture a Kelly in my head. I'm 26 years old, so I didn't really remember much of Dan Kelly, however, and all the great calls that he did when the organization first came about and years after, I heard his voice. But I grew up with the talented John Kelly, his son. And it's really hard to put into words appropriately my frustration about the organization deciding not to bring him back. I mean, if you told me 5 years ago we wouldn't have Panger and JK, I would not have believed you. I wouldn't have. And it's been a very frustrating few days knowing that with all the backlash that the organization received, they didn't do a single thing. The Kelly family as a whole is a staple to the Blues in the organization. When I think of St. Louis Blues hockey, besides thinking of the Blue Note and all the great players, I also then think about the Kellys. And I can't put into words, right, all that he has done, okay? You think of things like he said, like, highway robbery and just how passionate he was. I mean, he won multiple Emmys for the work that he did in St. Louis. And for me, as a Blues fan, I felt like it was such a disrespectful way that they let him go. And that is my opinion. I mean, he started broadcasting with the Blues in 1989 to 90 season. He stayed until 92, and then he went on actually to call Tampa and then Colorado. And then he returned to the Blues in 2005. And I guess 20 years later, it's apparent that money is more important than legacies, than the voice of your team for decades. It's apparent that something really bad happened. We lost the voice of Blues hockey. We did. And it's not because he wanted to go out. The Blues and FanDuel Sports Network announced that JK's contract would not be renewed. It basically part of a strategic realignment, and the team would have moved to basically. I love Chris and Joey. Chris has been at this for a long time too, but they're gonna basically do what they're doing on the radio side, and they're gonna have it also on TV. So I guess they decided, hey, it's cheaper to do this instead of having two different broadcasts. As somebody that works in radio, I think radio is awesome. I do. But I also think TV is awesome. And I listen to Chris and Joey, when I'm driving and the Blues are playing and I can't watch the game. But if I'm watching, there's a voice that I'm listening to that I've been listening to for basically my whole life, and John Kelly. And you can say, oh, well, it's not going to be renewed. That is being fired. Okay. They fired him. And this is something I didn't see coming. I thought that JK was untouchable. I did. Because why would you let go of somebody who not only holds so much history in St. Louis, but who has the great Dan Kelly as his father, who has great history in St. Louis? I mean, you think about the Kellys, and besides the time when JK left for a little bit, it's just been Kellys. Dan and John Kelly. So, yes, the frustration is real because I thought, I got this news on, I believe it was Friday or Thursday. It was Thursday. Got the news, right? I'm on vacation. I do a little short because I just wanted to immediately react. I thought to myself, you know what? By the time I come home, maybe with all the backlash, the Blues would have made the right decision and they would have decided, hey, let's bring him back. And they didn't do that, which then speaks volume. It does. Because, again, we take such pride in the history of our team. And I feel like it's very different than a lot of other NHL teams. And maybe I'm a biased person, and I probably am when it comes to the Blues. But I just thought that it meant something. I thought it meant more maybe than what it was. I did. And again, the fact of the matter is that it was money. But then you have to also think about how much money the Blues and FanDuel brings in as it is. And then you have to question, they have the money. They're not going bankrupt. They could have paid John Kelly. They just wanted more money. And that's when you have to open your eyes and realize that sometimes corporate greed is a real thing. I just didn't think that it would have done this. I really did not think this would have happened. And it's hard. I was planning out my episode today. And when we lost Panger, I was gutted. Okay. Whenever there's any time where he's able to, be involved with the Blues, if it's anything, obviously Chicago, like the Winter Classic, it was great seeing him. I feel happy about that because I miss him. I really do. I mean, Panger, you think about all that he has done for the organization, like, it just sucks. And then now JK is gone. So then it makes you question, what is next for this organization? Are we just going to allow some of the greats to just be fired or whatever because of money? I can't process it. And it just felt so insincere, right? Like, I can't believe with all the backlash that there wasn't a way to get JK. Just, I really can't believe it. He is being replaced. Unbelievable. And I mean, you have to think too just about Dan Kelly, right? And it's really I'm really frustrated because again, like it's not even like, okay, yes, JK, again, lots of history with the Blues, obviously, but then it's like an extra dig on top of that because then you also have to think, oh, it's a dig at maybe the family. Like, it's such a disrespectful thing and tasteless. I mean, you have to remember Dan Kelly's signature goal call. He shoots. He scores. Like, I can't obviously do it as well as he, can. But like, I think about things like that, right? And you have to also think about the history. I mean, he was also inducted into the Missouri Broadcasters Hall of Fame in 2017. He was also the National Sports Media Association Hall of Fame in 2023 and the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame. In 2006, the Blues honored Dan Kelly by naming the press box at Enterprise after him. And I think for me, I think that's why it's so frustrating, because you can honor the family, right? You can. You can honor the Kellys and all that they did, but yet you're gonna let JK go because you want to save money. And that to me is so frustrating. I mean, he is the voice of Blues hockey. He is the voice of Blues hockey. And it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to Blues fans. And if I'm being honest, it's a disgrace to hockey fans. I had non-Blues fans reach out to me and they said to me, Haley, what is this? This is tasteless and classless. And I agreed with them. We're going to continue talking about it, but I want to change the subject really fast and just talk about FanDuel, and then we're going to get back to my rant on what happened with John Kelly. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little bit more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned on the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast payouts, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. Whether I'm placing a same game parlay or watching a bet right into the ninth inning, FanDuel makes it feel like I am part of the action. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Going back to what I was saying about how non-Blues fans were even upset about this, I find it interesting, right? Because I think about a couple things. I think about a multitude of things. When that happened, non-Blues fans were upset about that. Because I think that, and again, there's different teams that people just get accustomed to having the same voice. When there's somebody who's been a part of the team for that many years, right? You get accustomed to them, even if they're not necessarily a fan of the team. And I think for me, I think that is something that I respect. I think that it also means a lot that there's people that are not Blues fans who do feel a sense of annoyance, disrespect towards what happened. I actually think that speaks volume. I do. We're never going to see anything like this again. We're never going to see a father-son duo like the Kellys again. We're not. Maybe not. I don't know. But I really doubt it. I mean, you have to think about 1967 when it was our first season. Like, it's always been the Kellys. Except for that little bit of time when John went on to Colorado and Tampa. So, again, it's always been the Kellys. I think this is such a bad move for so many reasons, as I stated. But at the same time, you also have to ask yourself this question. And I find this to be an interesting question. I do sports radio. Obviously, I do my podcast here. I do broadcasting. Are broadcasters just as much as part of the team as the players? Now, my immediate answer is yes. And I want to know yours. But the reason why I ask this is I feel like when you think about teams, yes, the players, obviously important, but you also get accustomed to some of the other voices that you hear, right? It's funny. But when I watch Blues games, I usually watch it on TV. But as I said, sometimes I'm driving, so I don't watch the TV when I drive. Yeah. But when I'm watching it on TV, and now that I'm like thinking back, I'm like, wait, I listen and watch John Kelly more than I think I've heard any of the players on the team talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about it like that, and it's the consistency, it's the calls. And I'm not going to, try to do his calls by any means because you can't. You can't. That's the reality. But it is an interesting thing when you think about it. Like, wait, whoa. I listen and watch John Kelly so much because that is Blues hockey. And I think that everybody in the NHL is annoyed about this. I do. I can think of one person that thinks that this might be like a good idea, right? And again, his passion. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I really don't get it. Anyways, this is the statement on the departure of John Kelly. And I am actually just floored. Before I read the statement, I am just still floored about it. I did not think I would be making this episode. I did not think that this would have been happening. And obviously, this is from Tom Stillman. John and the Kelly name will forever be embedded in the history of our franchise. For the past 20 seasons, he has called some of the greatest hockey in our history. His beloved, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, echoing over some of our most treasured memories. John has been tremendous ambassador for the organization. Professionalism and passion for Blues hockey have helped expand to our fan base to new levels. John and Jennifer and their son Patrick and their daughters Megan and Grace will always be a part of our Blues family. I don't know if I like that statement. Again, while the words were kind, I just don't necessarily think that was enough. It's a bad move. It's a really, really, really bad move. And John Kelly put out a statement about this as well. So I'm going to read you what JK had. So this is John Kelly's statement. When I was 8 years old, I moved from Ottawa, Ontario to St. Louis, Missouri, not knowing just how much the city and the St. Louis Blues would come to mean to me. I've been incredibly fortunate to raise a family here and for the past 2 decades do what I love every day. After 21 seasons as the television voice of the St. Louis Blues, my time in this role has come to an end. I've had the privilege of calling some of the most unforgettable moments in NHL history, with none greater than the incredible 2019 Stanley Cup run. The Blue Note will always hold a special place in our family, and it has been a privilege to be a part of the team's journey. My late father, Dan Kelly, helped pioneer the game of hockey in St. Louis, and having the opportunity to carry on the legacy in this city has been one of the greatest honors of my life. To the people of St. Louis and the passionate Blues fans, thank you. Your unwavering support has meant everything to me and my family. The outpouring of kindness over the years has been truly humbling. This fan base is one of a kind. I'm grateful to the Blues executives, alumni, coaches, and players for their trust and cooperation. So many of you have become more than colleagues, and I've built friendships that will last a lifetime. I also want to thank FanDuel Sports Network and the local crew for their partnership and support over the past 33 years. Their professionalism, dedication are rare in this industry. I'm incredibly proud of what we've built together on the broadcast side. Broadcasting and hockey are far more than a career to me. They're my passion. My journey is not over, and I'm looking ahead with excitement about what's next. Finally, I want to thank my incredible family, to my beautiful wife, Jennifer, and our amazing children, Patrick, Megan, and Grace. Your love and support means everything. I'm excited for what lies ahead of us. With love, John Kelly. Man, if that didn't pull at your heartstrings, I don't know what will. He is forever, ever, and ever a Blues legend. This man, you have to admit, is a huge reason why you even love the Blues. I mean, it's not going to be the same without him. And I don't think anybody will be able to replace John Kelly. I don't. And I think the Blues made a horrible decision. I think that, again, when you're pinching pennies and trying to save a quick couple bucks, you end up making decisions that, in my opinion, destroy how people look at your team. It does. I think that change is inevitable and nothing can always stay the same. But it's like the reason behind it, it's not because he wasn't good at his job. It's because of trying to save money. And I think that's so frustrating. We look and we watch, in this case, sports to maybe escape reality sometimes, right? I know I do. We like consistency. We like all of it. But to let somebody go who's had a family that has been with this organization since day one, in my opinion, is a classless move for a classy organization. And that is my thing. I'm surprised Stillman did this. I really am. I'm surprised. I don't think I fully can process it because it's so weird to me. Like when I watch Blues games, I'm not going to hear John Kelly's voice or see him. That's a weird thing to think about. Like I can't picture Blues hockey without JK because that's all I've known really is John Kelly. So yeah, I hope he gets whatever job he wants, and I hope he succeeds. Well, I know he's going to succeed at it. There is no doubt in my mind about that. But I am sure he's going to get something great, and I cannot wait to see what he gets. Really fast, the Blues put out their preseason schedule. Tomorrow we do get the NHL schedule. So September 20th, they're at Dallas, 6 o'clock puck drop. September 21st, they're at Columbus. I know I was a little surprised about that. 4 p.m. September 27th, home against Chicago. September 30th, home versus Dallas, 7 o'clock. October 2nd, home against Ottawa. And then October 4th at Chicago, 6 p.m. So it's funny. Well, not funny, but it's like ironic, right? Because the Blues put that out. I want to say yesterday they put this out. And all of the comments are saying, it'd be nice if John Kelly was broadcasting. Rehire John Kelly. Every single mention is about John Kelly. So, yeah. So, fans, obviously use your voice because I am upset too. And in no way do I agree or support this decision from the Blues. If anything, I think that this decision is one of the worst decisions that this organization has ever made. And I hope that if enough of us speak up, post on social media about how bad of a decision this was, maybe the Blues will do the right thing. I doubt it. However, it can hurt because I cannot believe that they did this to somebody like John Kelly. All right, I will talk to you tomorrow about the schedule release. Exciting stuff tomorrow. And like always, let's go Blues.